declared a state of emergency on food security in the country. Dele Alake, presidential spokesman, made this known yesterday while briefing State House correspondents. President directed that all matters pertaining to food and water availability and affordability as essential livelihood item be included within the purview of the National Security Council. The directive was said to be in line with the Tinubu-led administration position on ensuring that the most vulnerable are supported. Like I said, the president is not unmindful of the rising cost of food and its effect on the pocket of citizens. The president also directed the immediate release of fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to mitigate the effect of the subsidy removal. The Senate of Nigeria has approved the request of President Bola Tinubu to accept a loan of $800 million to carry out a program to provide support to the poor in the country. The Congress has also revised the 2022 additional budget law. The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, read the President's request in a letter he sent to the House. Tinubu said that the National Executive Council, under the leadership of former President Muhammadu Buhari, has agreed to receive an additional loan of $800 million from the World Bank to implement the support program. The President said that the purpose of the program is to help the poor to get what they need to live. On Thursday, President Tinubu announced his government's plan to give 8,000 naira to the 12 million poor households in the country for 6 months. House of Representatives has ordered a detailed investigation into anomalies that characterize the trips of Nigerian Hajj pilgrims to Saudi Arabia this year. Sawaba Radio reported no fewer than 14 pilgrims died during this year's Hajj. Given the breakdown on Sunday in Makkah during the post-Arafat review session, the head of the Nigerian medical team for the pilgrimage, Dr. Usman Galadima, said 7 pilgrims died during the pre-Arafat period. He disclosed that 1 casualty was from Plateau State, 2 from Kaduna, 2 from Oshun, 1 from Borno, 1 from Yobe, 1 from the Federal Capital Territory, another from Benue, while Lagos had 1 too. The House noted that a total of 95,000 Nigerians went for Hajj pilgrimage this year. Idris told the House that there were several public officials who had no tent and were made to sleep in unhealthy places and conditions. National Hajj Commission of Nigeria said that despite the indefinite suspension of operation of Max Air Airline by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, development will not affect the airlift operation of pilgrims from Saudi Arabia. This contained in a statement signed by NACON's Deputy Director, Information and Publications Division, Musa Ubandawaki. Ubandawaki disclosed that the NCAA's clampdown on the airline was on its Boeing 737 aircraft, which has been the crux of the regulatory body's audit query for some time. To be recalled that the NCAA, in a letter dated July 12 and signed by the agency's Director of Operations, Training and Licensing, Captain Ibrahim Dambazo, had said the suspension followed an audit of 4 incidents involving the aircraft between May 7 and July 11, 2023. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) has seized 6.3 billion kilograms of illicit drugs in 2 years. Chairman of the agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, disclosed this while destroying 25 tons of illicit drugs in Sokoto State yesterday. Marwa said that over 852 hectares of Indian hemp were destroyed, while 3 clandestine methamphetamine laboratories were dismantled. Represented by the Director, Legal and Prosecution, Josephine Obi, he said that 2,000 drug offenders, including 35 barons, were arrested in the period under review. The chairman added that 5,147 convictions were also secured. He noted that the record of arrests and seizures in Sokoto indicate that apart from the abuse of drugs such as hemp, codeine-based syrups, Valium, and strong analgesics, there was prevalence of stuffs, shisha, akuskura, and the methamphetamine, otherwise called ice. Still in Sokoto State, Governor of Sokoto State, Ahmed Aliyu, yesterday inaugurated a Judicial Commission of Inquiry to investigate some of the actions taken by the immediate past administration of Aminu Waziri Tambuwa while in office. The panel, which is chaired by former Chief Judge of Gombe State, Justice Muazu Abdul Qadir, is expected to submit its finding within 2 months. Speaking while administering oaths on the members of the panel, the State Governor Ahmed Aliyu urged them to deliver on their duties in a accordance with the rules of law. He stressed that part of his campaign promises was to ensure accountability and transparency, which he said will not be just about the last administration but also be a major factor in his administration. Kano state government has faulted the distribution of the federal government's allocation of 500 billion naira through the Bank of Industry to support a small-scale industries across the country's geopolitical zones. Governor Abba Yusuf made the complaint during a meeting with representatives from Kano Cooperative Society at the government house yesterday. He revealed that the distribution was heavily skewed, with Lagos State receiving 47% of the allocation, followed by the South-South zone with 17% and other regions receiving significantly lower percentages. He said the state government will support cooperative societies in their efforts to alleviate poverty and regain their influence. Yusuf, represented by his deputy Aminu Gwarzo, reiterated his administration's primary goal of eradicating poverty in Kano State. The news is coming to you from the studios of Sawaba Radio. More is after the short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still onto the services of Sawaba Radio 104.9 Hadija. Operatives of the Ilorin Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have arrested 13 Chinese over alleged illegal mining in Kwara State. The suspects, a female and 12 males, were arrested on Wednesday in GRA Ilorin. The suspects are female. The commission said the action followed a credible intelligence about their activities of illegal mining and non-payment of royalties to the federal government as required by law, contrary to and punishable under Section 1, Subsection 8B of the Miscellaneous Offences Act Cap M17, 1983. EFCC spokesperson Wilson Wajaran said that investigation prior to their arrest revealed that the operators had different illegal mining sites in almost all the 16 local governments of the state. Peter Nweke, a commercial motorcyclist, has been apprehended for allegedly sodomizing a 15-year-old boy in Ondo State. Mr. Nweke, 35, was nabbed by members of the Obusoro community in the Ijoka area of Akure, the Ondo State capital, and was immediately handed over to operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. It is gathered that the suspect will lure his victim from school to his house, where he will have carnal knowledge of the teenager and later return him to his parents' house daily before he was caught. Confirming the arrest of the suspect on Thursday, the spokesperson for the SCDC in Ondo, Daniel Ademambo, said the suspect was apprehended by the collective effort of the community who observe his strange movement around the victim's residence daily. He, however, added that the suspect will be charged to court accordingly after the conclusion of investigation. Now to international scene. Ghana has defended its policy of returning asylum seekers to Burkina Faso after the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees urged it to stop deporting them. Ghana's Ministry of Defense said that those suspected of committing terrorism and migrants are being returned in accordance with international standards, and she claims that she is returning the refugees only based on their consent. The country of Burkina Faso is suffering from the violence of jihadists, while Ghana is afraid that the militants can use the opportunity that the refugees have to infiltrate into its country. Syrian government has announced that it will allow the United Nations to deliver aid to the rebel-held areas in the northwest of the country through the Bab al-Hawa border crossing with Turkey for 6 months. The Security Committee of the Parliament has given orders to carry out the work until Monday, but members of the committee refused to renew the plan, where Russia, which is an ally of Syria, used its power of veto to prevent the renewal of the project for 9 months. Likewise, the bill she presented to extend the work by 6 months did not get the votes it needed before it was accepted. That has been the news. Before I go, a recap of the major stories. From the news warhead, President Bola Tinubu declared state of emergency on food security in the country. Kano State government fault mode of distributing federal government's allocation of 500 billion naira across geopolitical zones. On the international scene, Syrian government allowed UN to deliver aid in the northwest of the country. That has been the news on Babda News Department. Our editor, Abdullahi Hawalakofa Ariwa, our content announcer, Halim Hassan Ibrahim. I am Salam Tanut Aliman saying good afternoon.